Hello everyone, this is Brian with ZimCO Survival, and today I'm going to do a review for you guys on Sergeant Knott's Tarred Bankline. You'll know, most people know, if you're watching this video and you're doing some research on Tarred Bankline, there are two primary manufacturers. Now there are a number of smaller ones, but the two big ones that you're going to find, especially on Amazon, is Sergeant Knott's and Catahoula. Catahoula is known as being the premium line, and I'm not going to argue with that. Catahoula line is more tarred. It's just a matter of fact. They do have more tarring than Sergeant Knott's. However, Sergeant Knott's is cheaper, and in my experience, I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see that with the sun there. You can see that it still has plenty of tar to remain rigid. So, as far as Tarred Bankline goes for me, Sergeant Knott's is perfectly fine for what I do, what I use it for. And I will make a different video because Tarred Bankline is a whole subject completely on its own, about Tarred Bankline, its benefits, why I use it, and I'm going to do, in that video, I'll explain choices between Tarred Bankline and Paracord. Now, this is going to be a fairly short review because it's cordage. You know, it's not fancy. There's not a whole lot to it. So it's going to be a pretty straightforward, honest, and to the point video. This right here is a 1 pound spool, if that gives you guys any idea of how much you get. This is 1,680 feet worth of number 12 Tarred Bankline. It holds 96 pounds. As you can see, it is fairly thin. It's about the same thickness, I'd say, as a coarse strand of a piece of paracord. Now, this one is the twisted version, and I do recommend that you get it twisted instead of braided, because you can purchase it both ways. Twisted gives you the option, let's see if I can do it. It's not as easy to untwist this as you might think. When you cut it, it really doesn't want to unravel. But you can take it and untwist it. Let's see if I can do it a little bit better here for you guys. Trying to do it one-handed is a little bit difficult. See if I can untwist it a little bit and show you. There we go. You can untwist it and get the individual strands. Now, essentially this roll then becomes 3 times as long, because in bushcrafting scenarios and things of that nature, I know it's hard to see this, I apologize because it's black and I got shadows and stuff here because the sun is like right there. This stuff is perfectly suited to bushcrafting, and it's perfectly suited to survival stuff. Like I said, I chose the Sergeant Knott's because of its price, how much you get for that price, and I chose the twisted so that I could separate it out. Now, each one of these little fibers here holds 32 pounds, which makes it perfectly suited for 99% of what you're going to do with Tarred Bankline. You can take this apart and easily use it to tie a trap together, easily use it to tie anything like that that you want to tie, that you want to be permanent. And I'll get into that with my next video, which I'm going to be doing right after I finish this, which is talking about Tarred Bankline and exactly what its purposes are in bushcrafting and potentially in survival situations. In my opinion, more so bugging out, you know, long-term bug out situations where you need to build things that are really permanent. But overall, as you can see, I'm going to try to give you guys a good view of it here. Even though it's unfurled, the individual fibers are not fraying. That's one thing I really like about this, about Tarred Bankline, is it doesn't fray. Let me go ahead and grab my little cans ball here. I'm going to go ahead and cut it right there, and hopefully I can hang on to it. Or not. As you can see, I cut it, and it still maintains a really sharp end here, and no matter what I do to that end, it stays sharp. That's because of the tar. Now, again, we'll get into all that in a different video, but comparison between this and Catahoula Bankline, tarred Bankline, I would say Catahoula does have more tar. You can smell it. The tar in Catahoula, it's got a tacky feel to it. It is really, really heavily tarred. That can be a benefit or it can be a detractor for Catahoula. I like this one because I can put it in my bag, and, you know, I can take off as much as I want to bring with me, put it in my bag, and I'm not going to worry about it staining and getting tar and other things. For Catahoula, it will. I don't care what you say, it's happened to me. I put it in my bag and it got tar all over the inside of my bag because of the heat. So that was a detractor for me with Catahoula, was just how much extra tar there is. Where Sergeant Knox has just enough tar to do its job, but not enough tar to become a mess. So in my opinion, I'm sorry about the wind. In my opinion, Sergeant Knox fits better into the hiking, you know, the bug out, prepping kind of category, where you could be carrying this in a bag, versus Catahoula, which is pretty much designed specifically for its designated purpose, and that is a bank line. So my rating on this is going to be 5 out of 5. I know some people say, oh, it isn't tarred enough, it isn't this, it isn't that. In my opinion, if you're getting this as a prepping item or as a cordage to carry with you while you're hiking, you don't want a ton of tar in it, because then you end up getting tar on other things. And this seems to solve that problem. It's got enough tar to do its job, but not enough tar to become an issue. So that's my opinion on the matter. Overall, great line. I love the fact that it doesn't fray. I can take it apart into smaller strands if I need to. This little strand right here holds 100 pounds. So there's really nothing I can't do with this. 90% of what I do with cordage, I can do with this. The only thing I wouldn't do with this is hang a tarp or a hammock or anything like that. Pretty much everything else I do is with Bankline. So there you go. That's my review of the Sergeant Knox tarred Bankline. In my opinion, a perfect Bankline for preppers, bushcrafters, and well, pretty much anyone that wants a weatherproof cordage that's going to go into a bag. If it's going to sit on a shelf, Catahoula is perfectly fine. But there you go. That's my review. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, if you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe. Bye-bye.